1, 2, and a place to be. The Real Talk Podcast is live right now on IntellectualRadio.com with your man, Fly Guy Sheldon Smith, and your boy Simbo in the building. What's up, Fly Guy?
Everything is up. What's happening?
Man, everything is cool, but it's a lot going on in the world right now.
The world is always fueled.
It's a lot of news going on, and I'm looking forward to getting.
You've been keeping up with it.
I've been keeping up with it. You'll be surprised.
I'm impressed. We're gonna see how much you know.
Man. It's a lot going on right now.
We're gonna see how much you know, brother. But I'm glad to know that you're keeping up and you're keeping informed. What's the 411, baby?
Got to, man. Got to. Glad to be here, everybody. On the IntellectualRadio.com, the Real Talk Podcast. We want to give a big shout out to Earl, the other Winfrey, Wanda, and everybody involved, our partners. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Continue to watch, continue to like and share, and let us know what you think. You can call in at 708-223-8953. Well, let's get into it, Fly Guy. What's going on in the world today?
Chicago leaders are speaking out and speaking up. Governor J.B. Pritzker led a press conference yesterday and stated that we don't want nor do we need federal guards in our city. We are the shy. Yeah. We have this. We got this. We are who we are. We do what we do. We be who we be. Pritzker stood up, baby. Yeah. Pritzker flexed. I'm impressed because we don't need that. Our crime is down. We know that this is all fueled by racism because federal agents are being dispatched and deployed to cities that have black mayors. Baltimore, D.C., Chicago, New York is on the list. And, you know, the government in the White House, the Oval Office is stating that we are requesting that as African Americans in the city of Chicago, that we are afraid basically for our lives and that we want that. Yeah. I don't think that those narratives speak to the population of citizens, first and foremost, in the city of Chicago. You know, we take sound bites and we take a handful of people that tend to say what we want to hear, and then we make that become the voice of the population. That's not the voice of the population. J.B. Pritzker spoke very well. I'm very proud of our governor. I'm very proud of our mayor who stood behind him. And I'm also proud of those in the faith-based community. I saw many reverends. I won't name them, but if you go back and look at the clip, if you go back and watch the press conference on the governor's social media pages, you'll see who was there. The church is a pillar and the foundation of the community, primarily the black community. And the church was a big pivotal part of the NAACP and the civil rights movement. That's where we met. That's where we formed our coalitions. And so we have to stand on the ground now. We can't, you know, we don't have the luxury of shrugging our shoulders and turning our head and turning a blind eye to things that are set up and designed to destroy us, that are painting false narratives. We have to stand up. I encourage every church to step out and speak up. But church is always supposed to be the church in the heart of the community, ever seeking the community's heart. So I feel strong about that.
But that's what it's going to take. It's going to take that, Fly Guy, and everybody watching. In order to effect change and to make things change, you have to speak up. Not only speak up, but we have to come together and work together as one. There is power in unity. Unity breeds power and success. So if you want to change the narrative, if you want to make things better, get a group of people to come together on one accord and make it happen, because there is power in numbers. And I think that's one thing that Pritzker and the mayor and the powers to be, the political leaders and the preachers and the churches, everybody's coming together and the communities are coming together. And that's the only way we're going to stop this. So we have to come together. So kudos to you, Pritzker, for leading the charge, and kudos to everybody that's joining him.
We have to collaborate.
We don't need the federal agents here.
We do not. And Pritzker stated his words that this was designed to be more for theater than public safety. Now, just to give you insight and an overview, of who joined Pritzker. Pritzker was Governor J.B. Pritzker was joined by Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, Senators Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin, Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul, and numerous city and state of Illinois officials,
Mm-hmm.
civic and faith leaders, that those are those that are leaders in the faith-based community, said that Illinois has the authority and the resolve to block any attempt to override local control. They vowed to fight any National Guard action in the courts, and they urged protests to be peaceful. So, citizens of Chicago, those in the state of Illinois, if you want to come together, as we were talking about collaborating and forming coalitions, if you're going to come together to protest, please make sure those protests are peaceful, because what we don't want to do is feed them ammunition that they're already talking about.
Right.
So we don't want to give the visual of the picture of the false narrative that they're painting of our great city. Johnson echoed, Mayor Johnson, Mayor Brandon Johnson echoed Governor Pritzker in criticizing Trump's motives. The mayor noted that crime was on the decline in Chicago, is down more than 30%. That's huge for
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, because as a Chicagoan, we know what we have been up against. We know what we have been confronted with in our communities. We know the societal ills that plague our neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
We are being targeted because of who we are as a city, said Mayor Johnson, pointing to Chicago's progressive roots in labor and immigration.
Yep.
So, immigration, we're a sanctuary city. They were coming for us because of that, because they wanted to take those migrants away.
We take everybody in.
And we fight for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
We fight for the rights of our people. We fight for the rights of our neighbors, as we should. And that's what our government leadership should be doing. Our government leadership should be advocating for the citizens of the US, and local government agencies should be fighting for those citizens in their local communities and their local areas.
Yeah.
We got this, people. If this doesn't wake you up and help you understand the sense of urgency for voting, I don't know what will.
Yes.
Because when we look at all of this chaos and all of this catastrophic behavior and all of these unleashed things that's going on in the White House, and the things that are being dispatched, and how this man is trying to resurrect a new face of Jim Crow.
Mm-hmm.
Call it what you want to call it. I call it Jim Crow. It's the new age Jim Crow. There's still lynchings. They're still trying to keep black people in their place. So you're going to remind Brandon Johnson that you're not as empowered as you think you are.
Exactly.
I'm going to come in and I'm going to take your city. Although crime is down 30%, I'm going to come in and I'm going
Is it
to
30? I
take
thought it
over
was
your
40.
percent.
Is
The
it
news
30?
report says 30.
Okay.
So if it's 40%, kudos. But we're going to go by what the Associated Press tells
Right.
us.
Okay.
The news report says it's 30%.
Okay.
So we'll go with 30%. But
All
guess what? 30% down, that's ideal.
Mm.
Now, what Trump is talking about as far as African Americans pleading for him to rescue us, really? Really? First and foremost, no one speaks for Fly Guy. And I'm going to say, I'm going to take a point of privilege and speak for Simeon. Nobody speaks for Simeon. So if you haven't witnessed or seen, there are some women that have stood out. There's an organization called Chicago Flips Red. The organization is led by Danielle Carter Walters. She's an African American woman in the city of Chicago, and she has come forward and invited President Donald Trump to come with the troops. She's welcomed the guards. She's welcomed all of this rhetoric to come into the city of Chicago, not trusting the process of her city. Now, don't get me wrong. Chicago has its issues just like any other metropolitan city.
Exactly.
In every city, there is crime. Crime has always been and is always going to be, unfortunately, because it's always going to be good and bad and everything. However, this coming into Chicago and major cities is nothing more than a distraction. It's a deflect. It's a distraction to turn the eye away from them distracting and extracting Medicare. and Medicaid. It's a distraction to extract people from talking about DEI. It's a distraction to slight the conversation centered around the fallout between him and Elon Musk. And it's a distraction to talk about him revoking education rights and providing cities and allowing cities to have quality education.
He's going to talk about everything but the right thing. I mean, come on now. He's talking about how he's he's trying to make them, they changed the logo for Cracker Barrel, right?
Right.
And he's saying that they need to change it back and things like that. Like, why is that even news? Why is that presidential news?
It's
Why
not
is that
news.
governmental news? It's not. Why are we even talking about that?
Because has he ever said anything that's relevant that
No.
you found? Has he ever said anything that you found to be relevant?
But dig this. They're trying, he wants to put his face on the Mount Rushmore, right?
What,
Did you hear about that?
dude,
Did you hear
I
about
didn't
that?
hear about that, but
Yes.
I don't miss
So-
hearing about it either.
Trump wants his face on the Mount Rushmore of presidents.
Dude, somebody needs to get him. He needs a neurologist.
The
So
man-
as we look at who Danielle
If they put
Carter
him up there,
Walters,
I think I'll break it. I'll knock it down myself.
as we look at who Danielle Carter Walters is, as I stated, Chicago Flips is an organization led by Danielle Carter Walters, an African American woman, and this is what she had to say. Thank you to President Donald J. Trump, the people's president. First of all,
And
this
he's
man has proven that he is not the people's
No, he's not.
president.
He's increasing food prices. One of our listeners and watchers, thank you for reminding me of that, because I wanted to mention that too. If he's for the people, why is he increasing food prices? Why is he taking away education? Why is he doing all these things that is supposed to be for the people? Man, some places minimum wage is $7.
Dude, because he is not a president for the people.
Exactly.
He
Come
first
on,
of all,
man.
he's not a president. Let's just start there. Let's
Well,
stop with using
technically
the word
he is.
wrong.
Technically, he is.
He was an elected person.
technically.
That's all he was. He was an elected person because
His title is
unfortunately,
president.
once again, the American people preferred to see a white man that they found to be strengthened over a black woman that had qualifications to lead. And this is what everybody signed on for, because those who voted for him, you signed up for this.
What do you
Those who
guys
voted
think?
for him,
What do you guys
we
think?
didn't vote for him, but
Finish your
those who
question.
did, this is what you got. So once
Please.
again, back to
Question.
Danielle Carter Walters. Thank you to President Donald J. Trump, the people's president, for giving Chicago Flips Red our first platform, and to this subcommittee for the opportunity to speak truth to the people's house. We proudly stand with our president to bring his message to the Black American community and expose the lies pushed by the Democratic Party and their media allies. We are here to confront the reality of sanctuary cities, despite the word sanctuary. These cities are anything but safe. Chicago has claimed the title for years, and now we're drowning in the consequences. Lifelong residents are pushed aside, schools are overcrowded, crime is out of control, and affordable housing is vanishing. These crises exploded under Biden and were worsened by the reckless, agenda-driven leadership of Lori Lightfoot and Brandon Johnson. They didn't just ignore the collapse, they fueled it. Now, first and foremost, this lady is off her rocket. So let me just address you.
So she's a
Danielle Carter Walters.
she's a MAGA.
Well, she says that it's okay for Black people to be MAGA, and that there are more Black people in MAGA that are silent than those that we realize. So these are DL people that she's
why are they
talking
silent?
about, because Black people aren't, these are the people that throw a rock and hide their hand. That's what she's talking about. People that are cowards and not courageous enough. If this is what you believe in, stand up for it and take the critique that comes with it.
That's true.
You know
Don't
what I'm
hide.
saying?
Don't
Don't
throw
throw a
rocks
rock
and
and
hide
hide
your
your hand.
hand.
Wear your MAGA hat. Wear your MAGA hat. Put on your black face and wear your MAGA hat. Go on and shuck and drive. Do a minstrel show for the people.
A what?
Go ahead on. Shuck
minstrel
and drive.
show?
A minstrel show.
What's
That's what you don't know what a minstrel show is.
what's the
That's what
minstrel show?
blackface was all about.
Oh,
Shucking and
when I hear
driving. When
minstrel,
Black people would perform
yes.
for Mr.
Black
Chan, Mr. Chan. Did
blackface.
you ever see Charlie
Blackface.
Chan? Did you ever see the sitcom Charlie Chan? Charlie Chan had African American man on there. And every time he would execute his character, it was Mr. Chan, big eyes. It was buffoonery. It was Chitlin Circuit. That's what that's all about.
Yes,
So if
you
that's
are
what
right.
if that's who you are and that's what you're doing, Danielle Carter Walters, you do not speak for Black
That's
America.
right.
You do not speak for the Black citizens in Chicago. If you're MAGA based and that's your base and that's what you pride yourself in being, shame on you.
Yeah.
That's a sin and a shame. But that's what you choose to do. But don't open arms embracing something to come into this city that the citizens of the city did not sign on
That's
for.
facts. So thank you guys
Because
so
ain't
much.
nobody out there leading no protests with Black Lives Matter talking about welcome Trump and the National Guard.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Thank you guys for your comments and your feedback. And it is a polarizing time in the U.S. We do have to stick together. That is so true. Chicago is in the building. What's up? Thank you guys. Continue to let us know what you think, how you feel. We want you to chime in on the conversation. You can call us at 708-223-8953. If you can see that right there, that's 708-223-8953. Let us know what you think. Let us know how you feel. And let us know that you are in this conversation with us. Because this is one thing that we have to do. In order for us to change it, we have to talk about it. We have to come together. We have to come up with solutions, ideas, and different things. And we can do that with your help. So thank you so much.
Now, Carter Walters claims that Chicago is the most unsafe city, basically, in the world. She says her community urgently needs military intervention to keep its streets safe. She's a resident in the Marquette Park community on the South Side. She says her living experience is almost devastated. You can't sit in a car without worrying about being robbed, mugged, shot, or carjacked. We definitely need this. She says there are thousands of Black Trump supporters and even more supporting in silence. There are a lot of us, thousands silently supporting us, she said. People think that Black women can't be MAGA. People are starting to see there are a lot of us. And shame on you all. Now, Chicago,
So
first
look,
of all,
Chicago is speaking. We have to.
I'm glad to know that.
Look,
I'm glad to know Chicago should speak.
So Chicago is speaking. I'm looking at the comments. Chicago is saying we know that he's always shucking and jiving. That's true. But we have to understand and know that Chicago will be fine. We will be fine. We are fine. Trump is just trying to do anything he can to gain notoriety, to stay in the press, and to shake things up. And he does this by starting doo-doo. You know what word I want to say?
Well, he's doing this because
he's a doo-doo starter.
He's doing this because Chicago is led first and foremost by a Black man. He's doing this because Governor Pritzker has flexed that he's not afraid or intimidated by him. Our leadership doesn't bow down to him. Our leadership is not submissive to him. And Chicago is not, first and foremost, it's not the worst city in the world. So we're not going to paint a narrative of this city that does not exist. Chicago, yes, like any other city, it has pockets. Detroit has pockets. Baltimore has pockets. There are certain parts and sections of LA that has pockets. Philadelphia has pockets. Most metropolitan large cities have pockets and communities where there are people that live and there are some unsavory activities.
Yes.
But that does not compose the entire city. There are communities in Chicago that have healthy living conditions.
Of course.
And you rarely hear about incidents taking place in these communities. So that doesn't govern the entire city of Chicago. Now, if you live in Marquette Park, Danielle Carter Walters, and you don't feel safe, guess what? Why not move? Why is that not an option? Why not move? Move to Arlington Heights.
Yes.
Move to Highland Park.
True.
Move to Winnetka. True. Move to the North Shore. Or maybe your dollars don't stretch that far.
Get on up out of here. That's
maybe your dollars don't stretch that far. But I don't think anybody is holding you hostage there.
No.
So you can always move. But don't paint a narrative of our city that's not accurate to the white man.
And she's probably not even moving throughout the city, going to the different places, trying to make a difference, or even putting herself in position to make a difference. She's talking from behind the curtain.
It's very unfortunate, Simeon, that we don't have not learned how to unite. We don't come together to help create solutions to problems. So I would be applauding of this lady as she felt like Chicago had some work to do, and
Mhm.
she was using her energy and exhausting her energy to organize coalitions or organize groups that could help combat some of the things that she's talking about. She's not talking about trying to combat and be a part of the solution. What she's doing is fueling the problem,
That's what she does.
because
She's
what she's
yes,
done is tagged this man and made him feel validated in what he's
exactly.
saying and what he's doing.
And all he needs is one person. He'll hear that one voice and not listen to our Chicago. So Rock Washington, thank you for saying this too. Chicago political figures do not fear Trump. That is so true. That's one thing I'll say about our political figures.
Exactly. That's what we
They
said
don't
that.
they don't fear Trump. And then you have somebody like her who will say something in his defense or siding with him, and he'll take that one person and forget about the other 200 people that's against him and go with that one person and try to make it seem like that's what should be happening, and that's not what should be happening.
Oh, because he's already exaggerated it by saying, "Oh, they're African American women. They're beautiful ladies," and
he
they said,
he said
"Please
the
come,
black people love me,
please come,"
black people love
and they're
me.
wearing red hats like this,
Yeah,
and
oh
they're
yeah,
wearing
I heard
red
that.
hats
I
like
heard that
this.
today. That was
So
funny.
so
They
that means that they've definitely co-signed with his mindset, his
please
corrupt,
come.
his corrupt thought process,
No.
his very convoluted way of thinking, and his unethical lifestyle, his unethical living. So Danielle Carter Walters, you're co-signing on a felon. This guy is a 24 count felon, and you're going around championing and cheerleading for him to come into your city.
Yeah.
He said he grabbed women by their private parts. He's disgraced and disrespected women.
Mm.
And you're going around championing for this.
Yeah.
So that what type of woman are you that you're going around championing for a man that has told you that you don't matter? He called Omarosa a dog,
Yeah. He did.
a black woman.
He
He
did.
called her a dog.
He did. He did.
So, lady, get a clue.
Yeah.
That's
He,
all I got.
he did.
Get a clue.
That's
Get
a
a clue.
hey, that's enough, brother. That is
Get
enough.
a clue.
That is
August
enough.
is August awareness is don't be a bully month. Now, how coincidental is the awareness for the month of
Do
August
you
is
think
don't
Trump supports
be
that?
a bully.
Do you think he supports
I
that?
guarantee you he doesn't. But here's the catch. His wife, when he was in office the first go round,
Mm-hmm.
she was supposed to have a first ladies initiative that was an anti-bullying
Right.
initiative. How are you going to have an anti-bullying initiative as the wife of the president of the United States and your husband is the biggest
Is the
bully in the world?
biggest bully, period.
I thought it was interesting that this Danielle Carter Walters woman was advocating for this man, and August is Don't Be a Bully Month for
Mm-mm.
August Awareness Month. How can you do such? Chicago will not be bullied. So, when we look at bullies, bullies really are cowards. So, what is a
Uh,
bully? A bully is
of
really
course.
nothing but a coward. All a bully wants is a stage to flex on
Yes.
so that they have an audience and they look like they're the biggest winner in the room when they're actually the biggest loser in the room. Am I right, Sam?
Yeah. Bullies. Yes. It's one of those things where let me tell you something. I noticed something about Trump. Trump feeds off of negativity. His ego pushes him into a space of unrealistic events and things happening. The things that he's doing and the things he's saying, it makes no natural sense. Why are you doing it? But he's able to do it because of people like Miss Walters and people that support him.
Because he has a lot of yes people in
He
his
has a
camp.
lot of yes people. So that's
People
okay.
are afraid of him. And so because he's a bully. So when we look at don't be a bully during the month of August, as our young people are going back to school this month, you want to make sure that you're watching that. If you notice some differences in behavior, check your young people out,
Mhm.
because sometimes our kids are the bully. Sometimes our kids are being bullied.
Yeah.
Bullying is not only in person, there's cyberbullying. We know
Yeah,
that
it's
bullying has
nonverbal, verbal, physical. Not it's cyber. There's so emotional. There's so many different forms of bullying. You have to pay attention to what's going on with your child, and it's one of those things where I'll give you an example. Look and at the University of South Carolina, there was a white kid that was walking with an umbrella that they thought was a shotgun. Right?
really.
Yeah. So they shut the campus down. They shut. He was going to the library. But here's the thing. This is how racist the world is. They clearly said it was a white kid, a white male.
Mhm.
Guess who they detained?
A black person.
A black male. They detained a black male after hearing it was a white male. They detained a black male. Isn't that ridiculous?
Were they twins?
That okay,
Ah,
man. Let me tell you
how
something,
did you
brother.
mix them two up?
It's not a mix up, man. It's purposely done, brother.
I did think
And he was
so.
clearly white, not white
Casper
tan,
White.
not
Casper White.
mixed. He was white as this dang on paper.
Casper White.
Yes.
Casper White.
So it's
No, I know it wasn't a mix up. That was
it
being
was
facetious.
that was
But
that was
how do
intentional.
you right? But that's part of the problem
Yes.
that we have to look at. We have to look at how people see us and how we are always the fall person, because it's not always a male. Sometimes it's a female.
Yeah.
It's just a black person.
Yeah.
And so being the fall person is not cool. That's unfortunate. But as we look at bullying, a lot of kids have committed suicide
Yes.
because they've been
Not,
bullied so tough.
not only committed suicide, but there's been kids that were so scared that they killed someone else.
You know what? And I think that leads to school shootings, because
Yes.
some of those school shootings, as
Yes.
unfortunate as they are, had to do with the young person
Mhm.
retaliating vengefully because
Yes.
they didn't fit in
Yes.
to the cool kids group, or they were laughed at, they were targeted, whatever that case may be. And they were just not popular, they were not liked. And so they felt ostracized and
Yes.
they couldn't channel that.
And what did
And
they do?
so they
They
go
snap.
they snap and they go back to school and they take it out on their classmates. But the problem is, Sim, how is it that your kid is in your house as a parent
Mhm.
and they're building a bomb in the garage, or they're in their room playing with a gun, and nobody knows all this is going on?
Because
But
simply
when
they're
the
not paying
action,
attention.
well, that's the problem. But when the action takes place, then the authorities check the young person's social media page, and that's all they were talking about.
Mhm.
All they were talking about was getting even with people.
Not being aware, not paying attention, or not taking it seriously, or thinking my child would never do that. And you're not looking at the signs, you don't see the signs. Let me tell you, I talk about this, and I talk about I was abused, I was bullied, and I'm just fortunate enough because of my faith in God and my mom that I was able to go the other route. I was able to heal from it. I was able to not be bitter and hurt people because of it. You know,
Okay, that's great, because
and so
hurt people.
exactly. So what happens is these people have no support. They have nobody checking up on them. They have nobody paying attention. So then they lash out and they just lose it. Look at the kid who tried to assassinate Trump. You heard nothing else about that kid. They killed the kid. They cremated the kid. You heard nothing else about him. No phone records, no social media, no nothing, nothing. It's like it was set up. It was like it would never happen.
Man, be careful out there. Be careful out there, because it does that does happen. Things occur, and then, but if it had been, because that was not a black kid,
It was not.
but if that had been a black kid, it would still be a conversation.
It would, yes.
It would still be a conversation. As unfortunate and detrimental as it was, it would still be talk. And so once again, that goes back to what Fly Guy said. We cannot continue to allow ourselves to be the fall person for what other people are doing. But then we want to be blamed for the actions of others when we had nothing to do with it. So parents, check those iPhones, check those computers, check those iPads, check those video games. Too much attention span to those video games. That's not good. That's mental. So just snatch the device and just check it. Find out who your young person is talking to. Find out what chat rooms they are. Find out who they're on social media with.
Yes.
Just do a spontaneous random check.
Yep.
You paying for that device. So they don't get to tell you can't use it. You bought your son an iPhone 14, 15, 16, and your son gonna tell you can't use it.
And if
I
you
think not.
and if you let them do it, shame
I
on
think
you.
not. I think not. So be careful out there, everybody, and beware. August is anti-bullying month. Stop the bullying. And Chicago is on board with it because we are not going to be bullied by that which is in the Oval Office and those that think they coming in to do a Chi-Town takeover. Simbo, it's time for the person-to-person situationship.
Oh no.
This is the time in the show, everybody, where we give a shout out to our letter writer with their situationship. We help to bring forth resolve. And so tonight's letter, it comes from someone with concern based around what tonight's conversation has already been about. On deck, greetings, Real Talk. I enjoy your podcast show. The topics are thoroughly engaging. I'm writing to share my concerns for my twin sons, Eric and Aaron. As you know, there are a lot of foolish executive orders and unconventional behaviors being executed from the White House. As a mother of African American twin sons, I am extremely concerned about the welfare of my 18-year-old sons. My sons are in their first semester of college at DePaul University in Chicago. They wanted to stay on campus. Although they are attending college locally, I wanted to allow them to have somewhat of a traditional college experience. Therefore, I agreed to let them stay in the dorms. I must admit, I have anxiety and rarely rest well at night, wondering about their well being. Now there's the threat of federal guards invading Chicago. Additionally, I am familiar with the pattern of police behavior as it relates to the CPD tactical team out of the North Side 18th District. Real talk. Will our overwhelming fear ever subside? It's one thing after another living while Black in America. I have heard you gentlemen indicate you work with youth as mentors. I'm hoping you can offer me advice that I can share with my sons if they are ever stopped or approached by the police. I don't even know how to advise them if they are approached by the federal agents being dispatched to Chicago. This is a mother's nightmare. Signed, seeking to safeguard the innocence of my sons. I think this is
You know what?
concerning.
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth in this letter that this
You
lady wrote.
you know one thing I thought about the federal agents. First of all, they have to do what they're told, right? Some of them, I don't even think they're giving second thoughts to it. I don't it's weird to say, but it's okay. Let's go to the letter. So, as far as your kids are concerned, first thing you got to do is you have to let them understand and know that when they're confronted with the police, one of the first things to always do is comply, right? You always comply. Don't get smart with the police. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. And also know your rights. Know that you have the right to remain silent. Know that you have the right to ask for an attorney. Know if you're underage, know that you have the right to say that you want your parent present. There's so many different rights that you have to know, and we're going to have to do a show or at least do a segment or video that we can put up teaching people that their
We can do a
rights.
segment on the 10 rules of survival if ever
We
stopped or
we could
approached by
do
the police.
we can do that, yeah, and we'll do that so you guys can understand and know just exactly what you should be looking for and what you should be doing. But as a mother of African American sons, I know that it's scary. I know that sometimes you don't know what to do. I know you're worried, but you have to just teach them to do the right things so they won't be put in harm's way or put in a bad situation. It's one of those things where, like, as far as the federal agents are concerned, them being in school, I think they're safe. I think they're safe being in school when it comes to the federal agents. So you shouldn't have to worry about that.
Well, not necessarily because they're going to leave that campus at some point.
Yeah, but I mean,
I mean, there's a lot to do
but
in that
what,
Fulton area where DePaul University is.
but what do they look? But see, when the federal agents come, look at where they're not gonna be on the north side
I
by DePaul
guarantee you they're going to be
University.
all over the city because here's the
But
deal.
where do you
The
think the
team
main places they're gonna
takeovers and
be?
all of that is in Streeterville.
Yeah, and
So
downtown,
and
and
that's
downtown.
where, to this lady's point,
So they
that
shouldn't
north
be
side
involved in that.
area is where that 1863 tactical team operates out of. And that's who's been being harassed up there, black males.
Yeah, and that's why you have to tell your kids to stay away from that. It's sad, but they can't go around it. The only way to not be affected by it is to not be in it.
Well, here's where I disagree with Simeon Henderson, because I think that black kids can go wherever they want to go in this city.
I didn't say
You
that.
said stay away from
I
that.
said if things are going on, stay away from it. If you see some madness going on, you're gonna go to it and be a part of it, or be around it, or are you gonna go the other way?
Well, if I'm
That's what I'm talking
already
about.
out, if I'm already, here's the deal.
That's what I'm talking about.
If I'm out and I'm on I'm in college and I'm out with a group of my fraternity brothers.
Okay.
We're not out looking for trouble, but
Right.
trouble can find us because we're a group of black men.
Mhm.
So if it's 9 or 10 of us out and we just went for lunch and we just out kicking it, or whatever is going on, we on our way to a sorority party to kick it with some women, whatever that's about, we're minding our business. And so the fact that we're minding our business doesn't prevent us from being approached. So when we say stay away, no, this is where I disagree, because if that were my twin sons and they were on that campus, they have the privileges and access to the same rights and amenities that everybody else has to that campus and that which is in the surrounding area.
Right.
The campus is in Lincoln Park.
But
if the restaurant, hold on, if the pizza shop or whatever is in the area and that's where everybody go, guess what? My sons are welcome to go in there too. My sons are not going to be harassed.
Okay.
My son's not going to be harassed by the campus police, the National Guard, or the city police. So they don't have to walk on eggshells. Far too much we teach that. We tell our kids to do that.
You're saying that, but is that the reality?
Whether it's the
it
is the reality that we shouldn't have to do that.
Exactly.
But I can't teach my kids to live in fear.
That's not what I'm saying, Fly Guy. I'm telling you to teach your kids to be cautious and pay attention and know, because you are black, no matter what we feel or what we know and how we know it should be,
right?
Is it like that?
No, it's not like that.
That's all I'm saying.
But, right, it's not
So
like
you gotta
that.
be cautious.
You do teach your young people how to move. You do.
That's
why I stated.
That's all I'm saying.
That's why I stated.
That's what I'm saying.
There will be an upcoming segment on the 10 rules of survival if ever stopped or approached by the police. And I'm going to do our audience a favor.
You guys didn't know I used to be a police.
I'm going to bring in criminal defense attorney April Prayer. April Prayer is a criminal defense attorney in the city of Chicago who actually advocates and fights for our youth and black young men who are wrongfully extradited and indicted for things that are minor misdemeanors, actually, but become inflated. But however, in this situation, I understand this lady's concern. She's a mother. I don't know if she's a single mom. She didn't mention their dad, but however, she's a mother, and her worst nightmare is to find out that not one, but maybe both of her sons have become in harm's way, because it's difficult living while black in America.
Definitely.
We have to teach our young people, unfortunately, as Simeon just said, to walk on eggshells because we're not welcomed in the environment.
And I said to be cautious. I didn't say
call
walk
it
on
what
eggshells.
you want. Be cautious, walk on eggshells.
That's the reality, though, Fly
You know
Guy.
what I'm saying? Look around the corner before you go. We all have to.
Fly Guy, I got pulled over by the police officers last week in front of my house. I was pulling up in front of my house and they pulled me over right in front of my crib and didn't have a reason.
Exactly. And that's the point I'm making.
That's why you got to be cautious.
I don't deny that. I don't deny that the climate is what it is. What I'm saying is,
so then
I'm
you
not
agree
advocating.
with me
I agree with you on part of it.
But that's all I was saying, though.
I agree with you on part of it. But what I don't agree with is at some point, we cannot empower our young people to live in fear. I think part of teaching them to move so delicately is furthering the instillment of fear.
But
now, if the experience happens, guess what? We have the right to legal representation. We have the right to sue.
Yeah,
And
but
we're going to talk a little bit
but
about
here's the
what that
thing.
looks like
But
later on in the
but
segment.
here's the thing though, Fly Guy. What if it happens and something tragic happens?
Well,
Then
we know I'm not
suing
telling
and
them to
doing all
be.
that stuff ain't gonna bring them
No,
back.
it's not. But here's the deal. I'm not advocating for being
No, I'm not saying
radical.
you are. I'm not
I'm
saying
just
you are.
simply making a point
I
of
get that.
saying in this situation of this letter that this lady wrote, she has two sons, not
Hmm.
one, but two kids at DePaul University.
Hmm.
So this lady is probably paying big money
Or
if these
hopefully they
young
got
people
scholarships too.
aren't aren't given full ride
Yeah.
scholarships. But she's paying for housing because they
Hmm.
want to stay in the dorm. She's paying for books. She's paying for tuition, and then there's miscellaneous fees. We all know what higher education costs look like.
Yeah.
So, with that being stated, I'm not going to say that these young people should not be able to move like everybody else,
And I
just
didn't say
like the
they shouldn't be able to
Hispanics,
move.
just
I
like
said they
the
got to be
Asians, just like
cautious.
the white kids.
I said they got to
Right,
be
right. But
cautious
we
in their
always have
moving.
to be, and that's the frustration.
Yeah, I
We
know,
always have to be extra
but
cautious.
that's the
We
reality though.
always have to look
Yep,
different than
we do.
what the norm is so that
We
we're
do.
not profiled.
Yep,
It's
we do.
time out for that.
It
I'm
is.
sick and tired of being sick and
I've
tired.
been sick and tired of it.
Okay, so that's the point
What's the
I'm
but
making.
though?
That's what Trayvon Martin didn't ask for that.
But I'm
And that
saying
was a security guard.
so.
Trayvon Martin did what he was supposed to do. He was going to his father's house.
Yeah,
He was told as a young person, you don't talk to strangers.
yeah.
A security guard, a man that he was not familiar with, approached that young
Mhm.
man. He did not give him the attention. He was
Trayvon Martin with the hood, right?
Trayvon,
That man wasn't no.
exactly.
That man
That
wasn't no
guy was a
security guard.
security
He wasn't
guard.
at work when that
He was
happened.
a security guard
Oh
in that community.
man. Well,
He was a
he
security
was Paul
guard
Blart.
in that
He
community.
was
He was oldest of that community. And that's the reason why he stopped Trayvon Martin in the first place. He
right.
wasn't just he was a random guy, but he wasn't just a resident.
Yeah, but
He
man,
was inflated by his empowerment as security. However,
yeah
the point I'm making is
by the neighborhood.
right, but the point I'm making is that during that Trayvon Martin incident,
Mhm.
Trayvon Martin was moving with resilience,
Yeah,
meaning he wasn't intimidated
yeah,
by this person approaching him because he wasn't doing anything wrong. So
exactly.
he didn't need to run.
Yeah,
He didn't need to become afraid.
exactly,
He was going to his dad's home. So
exactly.
technically, he had an address in that community.
But
So
even
that's all I'm saying is
and I'm with you on that. And I'm saying is even in all that, it's sad but true that we have to be cautious. That's all I'm saying. Hey, what's going on?
so
Everybody
sign safeguard
Kenya. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in.
safeguarding the innocence of your sons. The first and foremost thing that you want to do is you want to stay prayed up for your sons. Make sure you talk to God every day about safeguarding and keeping your sons covered with the blood of Jesus. That's A. And then give your son the tips, like I stated, the 10 rules of survival if ever stopped or approached by the police. I'm sure you can use those for those federal agents because it's just a matter of complying with respect, as Simeon said.
Yep.
And so if your sons do that, make sure they have their university identification with them at all times so that they are aware that they're not trespassing. So, make sure that your sons keep themselves safeguarded by having identification, acknowledging their students at DePaul, and make sure that they just comply with whatever they're asked of if they happen to be stopped or approached by the police. And prayerfully, that will make for a safe outcome. We hope that you have
In
helped
short
us.
term, don't give them a reason.
We hope that we have helped you this evening. Now, to her point, stop and frisk 1863 Chicago tactical team. Now, she alluded to this in the letter. The 18th district is on the north side neighborhoods of Lincoln Park, which is where DePaul University is, near North Side, West Town, Logan Square. It also includes Navy Pier. Now, the 1863 tactical team has resulted in lawsuits filed against the city, including drivers Lamorris Bell and Desmond Northington. Now, Lamorris Bell filed a lawsuit against the city and officers who stopped him because he was pulled over while driving on the Gold Coast. And when he was pulled over, it was stated that he wasn't wearing a seatbelt and that he didn't use his turn signal. Well, in the video, you clearly see Lamorris Bell sitting in his car, questioning why was he pulled over, but he had on a what? A seatbelt. So that was a lie. Desmond Northington sued the city as well. And when he was pulled over, they stated that he wasn't wearing a seatbelt and something about the tags on his car. Well, he sued too, and he received $80,000 in his lawsuit. We're not sure what Lamorris Bell received in his because his lawsuit is not settled as of yet.
And so everybody knows when he says 1863, that is the beat. Those are the beat officers, or that's the tactical unit that was over it. 1863 tactical team. So you guys know that it's not the year, it's the beat.
Now, both of these gentlemen were handcuffed and were forced to sit on the side of the curb while their cars were searched. They were not arrested. They ended up, because they didn't find anything in the vehicles, they ended up letting the young men go. But that's trauma. That's PTSD. You put me in handcuffs and sit me on the side of the road like I'm a common criminal and I ain't done nothing wrong, so you can search my car and I ain't done nothing wrong.
Hey,
dude,
hey,
no.
let me tell you something. If that's the case, Wanda, I got PTSD too, because I used to get a whooping every day.
You what right every day it
Hey,
required
Emma
you to
didn't play.
get your
If I
life
did
together.
if I did something
Get
else
your
wrong,
life
I got
together.
a shoe, a Hot Wheels track, a belt, or
You
a
were bad
slap.
if you was doing stuff
Woo!
every day.
I got a house shoe. Emma didn't play, boy.
Simeon was the
So
god
I got
awful.
trauma. No, I'm joking.
The god awful. Now, over the past year, COPA received over 50 complaints related to traffic stops, street stop searches, and unprofessional conduct by members of the 1863 tactical team. More than 90% of the complaints involve Black drivers, despite Black residents comprising only 6% of that district's population. So only 6% of Black people live in that district, but 90% of the people they've stopped are Black drivers. The 18th Police District covers most of the north side.
Yes.
Streeterville, River East, River North, Mag Mile, Gold Coast, Old Town, Lincoln Park, all of those high-end areas. That is the area in which they cover. If you have problems with them, you can send an email. You can go to caps.018district@chicagopolice.org. That's caps, caps.018district@chicagopolice.org. You can call 312-742-5870 or 312-742-5771. The address to the district station is 1160 North Larrabee Avenue.
That's right by the school.
Just so you know how you can file a complaint, who you can call, or who you might speak to on behalf of yourself or someone you know that has been wrongly accused or wrongly handled by someone from the 18th Tactical District. Simbo, it is time for your sports talk. What's going on in the gridiron, brother?
Dun, 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 dun. I thought one of them
Giving himself an intro song.
That's right. I
Wanda,
am.
he done made up a theme song
I
for us.
sure did. God dog it. Give me my time. I know, right? Well, I'm doing it. I didn't play it. I did it. I did it. Yeah, I'm humming it, so you can't do it. So, what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the Real Talk Podcast on Intellectual Radio with the Fly Guy and your man Simeon. Miss Chicago is going down, and I want to talk in sports. Let's start with my man Jay Cutler, who used to play for the Bears. He cut a deal with prosecutors on Tuesday to close out his DUI case, and part of the pact he agreed to will now require him to spend a few more days behind bars. Law
That
enforcement
mugshot
sources
is
tell us,
something else.
man, let me tell you something.
Look
Ex
at that mugshot.
so we got a mug shot of my man.
Oh
Jay
my
Cutler, everybody.
God.
Check it out. I know y'all see that, right? My man Jay Cutler. Hey, I think we had to talk about that.
So
just
his
because
license was revoked,
yes, it was. His license was revoked,
and he had a
and
gun.
he had to do a little time. So
Jay Cutler
I
then
was
turned rebel.
I was just trying. I ain't want to say everything. I wanted to give him a little
No, we
grace.
ain't giving no grace. We
Why?
ain't
Because he
giving no
white.
grace. We ain't giving no grace. We ain't giving no grace.
Okay. So yeah,
Did
he had
Lamoris
a
and
gun.
Desmond get grace? Did the two black
He
guys
had a
get grace
gun.
that
He
was
went to
pulled
jail,
over?
and he had to spend a few more days in jail. So yes, that's it. It's Magoo. What's up, Magoo? What's up, everybody
Yeah, he
tuning
want to
in
be
live?
lighthearted on. No,
Hey,
dude.
so now
Tell Cutler foul too.
in NFL news, everybody, cut. There were a lot of cuts. We got Tommy DeVito got cut, Desmond Ritter got cut, Jake Henry got cut among the QBs way before the deadline. And it was talks they thought that Shador Sanders wasn't going to make the 53-man roster. I don't know why they keep giving these kids the blues, the Sanders kids the blues, but he did not get cut. And it's one of those things where it's a lot going on. And then my man Shiloh Sanders, he got ejected from the game for retaliation. I watched the play. The other guy hit him first, but he retaliated, and the referee saw him. And as a result, the next day he was let go on waivers. So he is now released from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and is not playing with them right now. So, and
When
also
will the fighting start? Stop.
I don't know. But also the Bengals, Trey Hendrickson reportedly resolved contract dispute. According to ESPN, the Bengals are raising Trey Hendrickson's 2025 salary to $30 million. And he's still scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. Since Cincinnati confirmed the two sides had agreed on a revised contract, and the Bengals had reportedly been um they guaranteed his salary beyond the first year of a prospective extension, and guarantees years in the future is what Hendrickson was reportedly seeking. And also Terry McLaurin reportedly agrees to a 3-year $96 million deal with the Commanders.
I can live off
All
of that.
right. And the Texans place running back Joe Mixon on reserve. That's non-football injury list. As part of being moved to injury reserve, Joe Mixon will officially miss at least the first 4 games of the season. And in other news, the Bears win again. The Bears beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Remember
You
last
can
week?
slow down
They
about the
won
Bears.
again
You can
at
slow
the
down about
end,
the
but they
Bears.
won.
This is typical
That's
Bear
all.
pattern.
No, so
They start off
don't get it
strong. No,
I got
they
other.
start
I
off
got another
strong
team
the
because
first
I
couple
know
of
I
games.
know who the Bears are. So I have another team, but you better smooth believe
By mid-season,
I'm from
you're going
Chicago.
to see the typical
You're from
Bears.
Chicago, and the Bears won. So you're gonna know that the Bears won right here.
They're trying to
on the
go
Real
out on
Talk
a bang
Podcast.
since they moving to Arlington Heights.
And then another thing in the news, let me tell everybody what's going on. Taylor Swift is in it. Travis popped the question, everybody, at KC Estate. We don't know where it happened, but guess what? I really don't care, Wanda. I don't care. I don't care that
Why
Travis
you hating
Kelce.
on that relationship?
I don't care that
Why
Travis
you hating on
Kelce
their
asked
relationship?
Taylor Swift to marry him. I am not a Swiftie. I do not care. I'm saying it out of my mouth. We don't even need this to be news. This is not sports
This
talk.
is sports talk. That is
Why
news.
is this even in
That
here?
is news.
This is not sports talk.
That is news.
That is
You
not
a
sports
Kansas
talk.
City fan.
I am not a Kansas. I am not. I am
You
not
like
a Kansas.
football.
Yeah, but I'm not a Kansas City fan. And the Bears just beat Kansas City.
Okay,
That's who
so
we
you
beat.
can't be happy for the man
So,
and his personal
once
relationship
again,
that he's engaged
Fly
and
Guy
he's
gave
getting
me 2
married.
things about this, and guess what I did with both of them? Wanda, you see that? Get that
Hater.
junk out of here.
He's a
Don't nobody care
hater.
about Travis
He's
Kelce
a
and Taylor
hater.
Swift getting
A whole
hitched.
lot. The Swifties coming for you, brother.
I'm like Kanye.
The Swifties
Hey,
coming for
I'm
you,
like
baby.
Kanye. She didn't deserve to get that.
Hater.
No, but seriously,
Hater.
congratulations to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Congratulations. We wish you much success in your and what is it called? Your nuptials. Your nuptials.
You're not getting an invitation.
Well,
to
I
the
don't
guest.
need that.
So
That's one I won't
when
cry
Fly
about.
Guy get the invite,
Take
don't
pictures.
feel
Hey,
slighted.
if you take pictures and
don't
send them
feel
to me,
slighted.
guess what I'm gonna do with the pictures that you sent to me?
I'm
Wanda,
not gonna send
can
you
you guess what I'm
pictures.
gonna do with them?
I'm
gonna be short.
I'm gonna delete him.
No,
Now I'm gonna say, look at this sellout. He from
no.
Chicago. Look at
No.
Fly Guy.
Who
Look
cares?
at-
I'm going to the party, brother. I'm going to the party, brother.
going with you.
While you at P. Diddy's freak off.
Wait a minute. Rewind. I've never been to a freak off. I'm not going to a freak off. I don't even know how to spell freak off. Is it PHREA?
Oh my God.
But there we're getting ready for football. And check this out, Fly Guy and I are going to host some people laughing. No, we're not hosting no freak offs. We're gonna host Fly Guy and I will be hosting Sunday night and Monday night football at Ralph Cigars. We will give you guys the dates and let you know when you can come out and kick it with us as we host some Sunday night and Monday night football. We know we have to host. Detroit is your team, right?
That's right.
Especially when Detroit plays.
Deep
But
town.
we're gonna have some fun. Chicago, come out, smoke a stick, and kick it. And this will not be a freak off. I repeat, in quotes and caps, in parentheses, no freak offs. Only football, cigars, food, and bourbon, tequila, your liquor of choice. We will be doing it. So
yes, a party waiting to happen. Simbo, close us out with a motivational message, my brother.
I don't know what motivation I have after the freak off.
But you didn't have a. What,
I-
you
Right,
dehydrated?
No, you threw
You
me-
dehydrated?
No. Hey, did you get hit with some of that paralyzing oil? They did. Did you see some of the videos?
Oh my
they did
God!
that?
We're not going down that avenue. We're not going down that
They
avenue,
took
brother.
the oil. and
Give
threw
your
it on the-
motivational message, brother, before I call Earl. Get your motivational message.
Earl gonna laugh too. Well, here's some motivation for you guys. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. First of all, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Continue to support. Please, before we hang up live on TikTok and Facebook, give us some hearts, give us some roses, and help us as we continue to grow and get badges and just spread the love and laughter and information on this show. But what I want to tell you guys is this. Don't give up. I need you to find a reason to smile. Find a reason to laugh. When things are tough, when things are not going the way you want to, I need you to find a reason to smile. I need you to find a reason to laugh and remember the good things. Remember the things that put you where you need to be, the things that made you happy, the things that pushed you forward, the things that encouraged you. You listen to yourself and think about those things and let that carry you over adversity. Let that carry you through the storm. And always remember, no one is immune to the trials and tribulations of life. You got this, and we love you. Be symbolic, simply your best.
Hold tight. Hold to God's unchanging hand. Jimmy Johnson said there are two types of people in the world, ordinary and extraordinary. The only difference in the two are those who are willing to do a little extra. Be blessed.
Say bye to baby oil.
Waiting on somebody to
Thank you,
get
guys.
on your level. Waiting on that one that could just switch up the flow. Party every weekend, but still like to smoke at home. Here I am,